Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Artist Wife, Writer, Husband podcast, starring me, Artist Wife, Midnight,
and starring me, your boy, Writer Husband, Neff,
featuring our co-host,
MDC.
Yay! So we got an episode for y'all today.
Yes. First, we want to thank everyone for listening and following this podcast.
Thanks,
truly
everybody.
Appreciate it. And yes. So,
you guys' feedback and everything has been amazing. Liking, sharing, thank you so much. We definitely. He does.
Yes,
we do.
really appreciate the support, and I really want MDC over there to talk louder because he has the mic that's the lowest.
Oh, sorry. I'll talk louder.
Don't hit the mic. But yeah. So
what's the episode today, Neff?
Yeah, this time around, we're going to be talking about what inspires us. What inspires us the most as a team. Not as a team so much, but individually, what inspires us the most.
So that's an interesting subject because it's such a open genre. It's an open field, right? Like there's
Genre?
the field. I ignore genre part.
Open world?
Yeah, in the sense of when people ask that question, what exactly, we're asking ourselves what inspires us. And it's for us, we have to for the creator, it's already hard enough to figure out what inspires us and what is inspire us to do. I have many different fun activities that inspire me to want to do many different things, So it's for creativity, I'm an artist, so I have to figure out which ones fuel my creative's fire and to do the thing that I'm specifically going to do. So it's a fun subject. It's a fun topic.
Oh, yeah. It can go in a lot of different directions.
He's doing the voice.
What are you talking about? This is my normal voice.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, okay, I won't say it, but... So, Neff, go ahead and start.
Okay.
Don't get it. This is the way I talk.
I'm confused there. Okay, so... for me, this is a very interesting question because I was, I don't know, have you guys heard of Masterclass?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so last year I had got a subscription for it, and one of the classes that I was listening to was Neil Gaiman. He's, for those of you who don't know, he's a really, really good writer. Well, extraordinary writer. Sorry, that was poor English on my part. The creator of Sandman.
Right.
The creator of American Gods.
I like that show. I'll watch it.
You watch American Gods now?
Now?
Well, I think I remember last time we asked if you were watching it, you said you need to get into it. But that was sometime in October, so I don't know.
Okay, I don't think it was American Gods. I think it was Watchmen.
Was it Watchmen?
Before you started watching it. Before you knew how black it was.
Well, no, it wasn't even Watchmen because Watchmen hadn't even come out yet.
The last time we talked about it, yeah. I want to say it had, yeah.
There was either one of those two where you both said that you're something you're going to get into.
You sure it wasn't Twin Peaks: The Return?
I don't know. What is that?
This is my first time.
What did you just say into the mic?
Is that a show? Is that
an incantation?
Well, you know Twin Peaks.
Oh, a Twin Peaks.
Oh, wait, they're doing a return?
It already happened. It happened 2 years ago.
Wait, is it a series?
Okay, no, it wasn't that. Because Anna doesn't know about Twin Peaks.
Oh.
Good. What? Yeah, cool. You're watching American Gods.
Yeah, I've been watching it since early on.
What is early on?
As
When
soon
it
as
came out?
Started?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Why haven't you told us anything about it? You haven't said a word.
Well, no, yeah, he's told me about it.
Oh.
We talked about him watching it.
Find a song I care about Greek mythology or different African mythology.
So yeah, that's Neil
mythology.
Gaiman. I love him. I have the entire collection of Sandman graphic novels.
This is what I read in my downtime.
He's really awesome, and he has a course on the website. And one of the things that he said was, when people usually get asked the question, what inspires them the most, they tend to have the they the tendency of pulling from things that are similar to what they're doing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's say I did gothic retellings of stories or whatever, and if someone was to ask me who's my inspiration, and I'd be like Tim Burton, you know, but it's mainly because that's like something that Tim Burton do. So that's literally just an example. MDC, you don't have to be offended over there.
That's my inspiration.
And it's limited. I feel like, and one of the things he said is that he brings it up because it's limited, because you should allow yourself to be inspired by whatever.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. No, you just kind of reminded me of something that I'll bring it up when it's my turn. But
Okay.
No, you
Just
did.
need you to talk a little bit louder.
I don't think he meant in pitch.
Oh,
Now you gotta
mean
do it the whole
more
time.
Like this.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest,
Jamal,
baby.
your voice is wonderful,
No,
and you
it's not.
sound like
Shut up.
a wonderful being.
Oh wait, is that because you heard yourself?
Yes,
earlier?
it is.
So you're trying to change your
Yes,
voice?
we love the way your voice sounds. You
You do
sound
realize it's
like
the
a
10th
powerful
episode,
male.
right? They already know what you sound like by now.
I need to start smoking 10 packs a day.
No,
Oh,
don't.
jeez.
We're all gonna die anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
So
don't agree. Encourage that behavior. This is why y'all friends.
You know what doesn't help is see, I did an interview. Well, I mentioned this interview last episode. So I did an interview, and I heard my voice in the interview. I was like, oh god.
I mean, I get the same way, but mine makes more sense. You don't know what I sound like. If you heard me on recording, you would have no idea if I was a guy or girl. My husband would know because he's married to me.
well, no, you sound like a girl.
Yeah, you
you don't
definitely sound
sound
like
like
a
a guy.
Where? In what timeline?
Okay, I didn't say an attractive girl, but you sound like a girl.
Okay,
You sound like you sound like
Can we do like the little standby being and I'm just gonna just stab at these guys. I am attractive. I'm just attractive something.
I mean, you are attractive, but don't mean your voice is. And
I'm gonna
that's
stab you with that
exactly-
further.
That's exactly the point I'm trying to make. I'm beautiful. as
I'm
hell.
agreeing with you.
I am sexy.
And
but
stabbing you.
good Lord, when I open my mouth, I just want to punch myself.
Yeah, I feel that same way too.
Hey.
Yeah, no, okay, relating.
you sound like you have character, and I won't say that
You
your
will always
voice
say that.
sounds unattractive.
My voice
I love
is
you.
unattractive.
Your voice is very
No, you-
attractive.
just like, remember that time we was playing Halo and that girl said you sounded like Fat Albert?
That's
a
not
compliment to me.
attractive. I mean, oh, jeez, that sounds so
Wait, hold on, wait. Okay, so you're saying big
Wait,
black
no,
man
nope. Don't say the rest of that. That's not what I meant in the slides. I meant the jokey character version of it. Hey, can we go back? I want to backtrack really hard. Just,
Hey. Well, no, we're already 8 minutes into this, so we can't start over
I
at
mean,
this point.
I guess it's overkill because if you see me and see what kind of photos I take and what I'm packing
yeah, check out his
in my
photos.
back pocket.
Yeah, back.
So I guess I had to screw me over somewhere.
Check me. What?
My voice.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You need a handicap. God was.
Everybody's got a kryptonite.
So your voice is your kryptonite?
Does it
Yes.
weaken you?
Yeah.
When I hear it.
Oh, it's okay.
Very, very seldomly do people like the way their voice sounds, because for whatever reason, to the way that we hear our voice through our own ears, it never sounds the same. So going back to what inspires me,
Not my voice.
Yeah, same. My voice, not yours.
so I'm not gonna pull towards things that are similar to what I do. I'm gonna pull towards just random things. That being westerns, old western movies.
Oh yeah, that was a heavy inspiration for me too.
Yeah, like that really inspires me a lot.
Wait, seriously? You like westerns?
Yes.
You do?
You didn't
How
know
come
that?
we never watched a western together?
Yeah, I haven't.
Do you have any?
Yes, I got what?
I can't imagine
I have movies of every darn genre.
every genre, even rom com.
He's
I
totally
do.
said I thought what you said every darn genre. or
Darn.
dark genre. I thought he said dark.
Did you say
genre.
dark or darn?
I got both.
Okay, I was
Oh,
say
okay.
no. I gotta believe you would have every genre.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I have a big collection and every. In fact, I don't have a whole lot of westerns.
No, don't pull
But-
back. You already said it.
I mean, I got the best western.
Wait, didn't we
ever.
watch No Country for Old Men together?
Though technically that's not a western, it also technically is. But yes.
I mean, yeah, it's like more of like a balance on the technical side. It's like, can we use spaghetti western? Is that term like not
Yes.
okay? Because
Well,
that's
we
that's
can't use spaghetti western for No Country for Old Men unless it was filmed in Italy.
no. I mean, like, sorry,
Well,
I was
by the
moving
Italian
away
director.
from that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying in general because I don't know if spaghetti is a derogative term.
Why is it called pizza western? Why gotta be
Pizza.
spaghetti?
'Cause
Oh,
it doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah,
I'm
spaghetti's-
It rolls off my tongue. Pizza rolls off my tongue.
pizza western.
guessing. Are you spitting it
Spaghetti western.
But it's really hot. Yes.
out? Okay.
Tortelloni western. I like tortelloni
Okay,
better.
that
Yeah,
sounds tight.
yeah. I love
Tortell-
tortelloni.
Okay, now that sounds
Yummy, right?
no, like that sounds bad. Like an insult.
Tortelloni westerns. Oh, I guess with the
Tortelloni
roll. Tortelloni west. I can't.
I don't know, something
But
just
you know,
sounds
looking
bad
back, that
about
makes
it.
sense because you do like Django Unchained, and
Oh, I love Django Unchained.
but you haven't seen the greatest western ever made.
What?
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
See, a lot of the westerns I watch were with my
how
dad
you gonna sit
because
there and
he
tell me
loves
what
a
I
bunch of
haven't
them.
seen?
Right?
Because I know.
Have you
don't
seen it?
know? I've seen it. Yeah. I've seen
Oh,
it.
Wait, you have?
Yes. I've
Anderson
seen it.
just he watches a lot of movies like randomly. Like I think the other,
What do you mean randomly? I had the intentions of wanting to watch it.
I mean randomly in the sense of like I don't know what sits you
what I'm
down.
gonna watch next?
Yeah.
We
that's
never
true.
talk about
I mean
it.
that's just because.
And you know what's really funny? You're wearing a wanted shirt with Yosemite Sam. This is so ironic.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
It's got like the
wow.
cool wanted and posted thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that shit.
That movie was long. It was really long. I feel like it should have ended at some parts of
This guy here.
a long time ago. No, I'm saying like in the sense of story wise, because at some acts, like let's say let's say that the movie has way more than just 3 acts. Certain parts it really did start to die down, and it could have like it probably would have made more sense if this was like a TV series and it continued on for it, but has like because that movie is like what like over 3 hours long.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, this is the
probably, yeah.
1960s. Everything was over 3
Yeah, but to
hours
say
long.
there was a lot of movies then that was about that.
And that's
like-
when movies were films. They were great.
Oh, you're saying that the 2 hour mark is a like a inhibit? Okay,
Well-
movies do seem like they go by faster when they're less than 2 hours.
Yeah, that was a problem with Joker, but I can't talk about that right now.
Oh boy, he's got a whole thing to talk about on Joker.
Well, one of the things
when
that
doesn't he?
inspired me about westerns, well, one of the reasons, that was like the last western I've seen.
Okay.
So like it literally was the most recent for me.
Which one?
The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Oh, okay.
Also known as the best western ever.
It was really good, but I've more so been catching myself watching critically acclaimed movies, but I don't know. There's something about just like the cinematic feel of westerns, just how they do the suspense
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
The landscape.
drama.
that my favorite thing is the landscape.
Yes,
yeah.
the landscape and whatnot. Really establishing the scenes
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. So with me being a comic book writer, those are very important. That in my script has doing these panels and whatnot. If if I have the story switched to a different scene, it's very important that I have the artist draw the scene. Probably do like a bird's eye view, probably like a more close view of the characters and whatnot. Because one of the things I feel like is a mistake that people make is when they switch to a scene without establishing the shot, and then that next scene is an action scene. So you literally have no idea what the F is going on.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
you
boy.
can't get a general sense of direction and whatnot. I've seen that in not just comic books, but I've seen it in movies too.
Now, one thing I want to point out as a filmmaker, me personally, you cannot be a true film buff unless you watch westerns, because those are a huge staple in film. And one of the reasons is because they even a lot. There's a lot of movies that have taken inspiration from westerns. Like, and you know, for years, samurai films and westerns were kind of like neck and neck, and they remade each other. Like, you had the Magnificent Seven, but you also have the Seven Samurai. You have Fistful of Dollars, and you also have Yojimbo. Those are basically remakes of each other. And because when you really think about the culture, like they both have theoretically the same ideas, where westerns are really post Civil War stories. You know, that's where westerns really take off. That's when the Old West actually took place. And a lot of samurai movies oftentimes are in the Ronin era, after when samurais didn't have no masters. And you know, both of them feature the dueling in the streets. You know, and the you know, and this has also shown up in anime, Cowboy Bebop. Enough said.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Outlaw
and the other-
Star.
Outlaw Star.
Dude, I can probably name a.
Star Wars is another one. Star Wars took from both samurai film and western.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
dude,
mean,
lightsabers.
The Jedi, the word Jedi comes from Jedi, which means samurai art, and of
What?
course Han Solo is basically a cowboy. That's basically what he
Yeah,
is.
he is.
You know,
Yeah.
I cannot deny that.
And there's a slight boom in Africa nowadays, where there's a lot of African filmmakers that have taken a lot from westerns, and it may seem weird, but when you think about it, a lot of these people in different parts of Africa, you know, cattle is a big thing to their survival. So they watch these American westerns, they're like, hey, I can relate to that. This is one film I've been meaning to get. It's an African western called crap. Of course I forget it once. We'll just look up African westerns. I can't, you know, because you also have photography. There's a lot of photography of, you know, Africans wearing like the old cowboy outfits and whatnot. You know, westerns have been a huge inspiration because, you know, for a while that was the only action film. For even though
Was it Five Fingers for Marcellus?
Yes, there we go. Five Fingers for Marcellus. Yes.
Interesting. How'd you get the one he was talking about like right away?
It's kind of
Did African Western movie. He told me to search that.
It's just one.
you know, it might be.
Oh, okay.
Because I might be getting movies mixed up with photos. Because, you know, there's a whole subculture.
This one came out in 2017.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
then
a
that
whole
makes sense, yeah.
subculture of, like, Africans wearing In fact,
I've seen that.
there's
Yeah.
a metal scene. There's a huge metal scenes throughout Africa, specifically Botswana, where, despite the weather, they wear, like, entire leather outfits, including cowboy hats. So westerns are a huge inspiration around the world. But it's like Anderson was talking about with, like, they really did build up on story and, like, atmosphere and setting. You know, and that's why we remember westerns so well, because of all that. Everything played a part into the story.
Can I just say, as a Western fan, I really love the fact that like this worldwide movement towards like the adoration of this genre of films and whatnot. It all comes from the rancheros.
Yeah.
Like from like the native, the native Mexica. I guess this would be word before they were Mexico, but you know the Native Americans basically that were indigenous to Central America. They were the first rancheros. Their entire outfit. My uncle was a ranchero, and he loved it to death. He pretty much was, rest in peace, buried in his belt and cowboy boots and cowboy hat, and with the little tie sash thing. I don't know what they're called, but little tie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he loved it to
It's
death.
called the Texas knot. I don't think that's the correct term. That's
I
what they call it.
remember. And he just Tejano all the way, which Tejano's purely Texas Mexican mesh, no ranchero, all of that to the day they die. And it's just I love it because it's like, even if I'm pretty sure at this point people kind of know the word ranchero is still kind of like there's a difference between ranchero and cowboy, and it's like no, it's the same. It's the same thing. It's literally the same, except for it's not the same actual job. Cowboy's like the fancified version of a ranchero, which is, I mean. It's literally they were like, oh, what if cowboys could like, I don't know, save a whole town or whatnot? Like, come on, think about it. A farmhand sitting there just shoveling cow shit, and he's just sitting there daydreaming of being like this cool, sharpshooting, Westerner. Sorry, I hit the mic. That's the epitome of like, and then to find out that entire genre is beloved around the world to this day.
yes.
That's just so cool to me.
Shoot, and you brought up Watchmen earlier. Even in the series of Watchmen, the first episode mentions Bass Reeves, who was a black sheriff back in 1800s, cowboy
That's cool.
era. He made over 100 arrests. I forgot how many people he shot, and And
A lot.
yeah, a lot. Django actually has nothing on him. That's the crazy thing. But the funny that I mentioned that because you're probably like, okay, why mention Bass Reeves and Watchmen? Well, let's just say he had a humongous influence on one of the characters in that show. And the way they wrote that in there and incorporated Black history was so amazing to me. That's why that show was really good. And I'm really freaking sad they're not going to have a second season, apparently.
Watchmen
hold
isn't
on,
having a
it's
second
finished?
season?
I don't know why there's not going to be a second season. I think it got... I don't know. It's something... I think the creator left the show or something like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I'm just angry. I'm like, how come we can't have anything good?
Right? God dang it.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's definitely one of the things that I want to get into. Too,
Now I'm going to
and
get into it and cry.
to find out that it's over.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I hope it gets picked up again, to be
I
honest.
really do, because I'm like, that was... Because the same thing kind of happened with American Gods. 'Cause,
Yeah. Oh, man.
it took forever for the second season to come out. Like, I think 2-3 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
know.
The fact that it even came back is a miracle.
Because the showrunners left, right? The original ones?
There was a lot of controversy about what happened with that show. I don't exactly remember what it was. I think it has... I don't even remember. But it made me angry. Because, again, that was one of the best shows on TV that no one was looking at. But obviously it had a fan base, or else it wouldn't have had a second season at all.
I blame the channel that was on. It was
HBO?
was it on HBO? It's
No, I
like
think that
Stars
was
or...
It was probably Stars.
Okay, Watchmen is on HBO, right?
Watchmen
Yeah.
was on HBO.
Okay.
HBO is a little bit easier to get to than Stars, I feel like. It's because it's one of those premium channels, and that's the only reason why I haven't watched American Gods.
HBO is a premium channel, too.
Yeah, but HBO Go, you can
It's
kind
more
of pay for
common
service.
though.
Yeah,
'Cause, Spartacus was also on Stars, and that's why I feel like a lot of people missed out on Spartacus. Spartacus was great.
they lock you
The
behind a
Priests who say it
paywall.
was better than Game of Thrones. I win that argument, my dude.
You finally winning. You know, I think that was an argument you were making for a minute too.
Well, honestly, I never, for a long time, I never said Spartacus was better. I was just saying that it's
Rivals?
as good or almost as
Yeah.
good. But the thing about it, it came out first. So all those shots and insane violence that Game of Thrones was known for, Spartacus had already done it. Yet people didn't know about Spartacus. And then my friend was trying to argue, like, no, Game of Thrones is better. I'm like, I'm not saying it's not. But, after season 8, I'm like, well, last laugh, fool.
Well,
Spartacus actually went well, and they lost their main actor.
dag.
Screw you.
We did kind of take that from you, Neff. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, sorry, no.
That's actually good because that's the whole point of this show. This specifically is to share what inspires us and also learning a bit about each other. Like MDC didn't know I was that much into westerns.
Yeah, I feel like that was some bonding we could have had that we just never really had.
I like. It's like with Lord of the Rings, except for me, I'm saying I'll keep my secrets. So yeah, that's one thing.
In fact, I didn't know you cared about westerns, Anna.
Yeah, I literally my first story.
Well, I mean,
They're the world is
You know
literally-
what?
Yeah.
My bad. Come to think about it. My bad. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
The only thing is, I didn't like the whole battle against people thing. I mean, come on, guns are OP. Now put a gun up against like an immortal being and just try to shoot it down with the limited bullets you have. I like the supernatural aspect with
It's
guns.
funny because we forget westerns did grow a bit of a supernatural subgenre.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
sci-fi westerns.
let's just not
Dude.
talk about Cowboys versus Aliens, the movie, though.
Why would you? Why
Cowboys
would
versus-
you bring that up?
Oh
man?
no! Wait, is that the one with
Dude,
Will
I
Smith?
am in counseling.
No, that's Wild Wild West.
I'd
Sorry,
rather
never
watch
mind.
Wild Wild West because at least it had a giant spider robot.
Yeah, the spider robot was actually
and
pretty
it was
kind of cool.
steampunk before that was cool.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing I liked about it, the
Wild Wild
steampunk.
West probably, well, not probably, would never hold a candle light to Matrix, what Will Smith turned down.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's what I was
And
thinking.
I feel
of.
like the only reason he turned it down was because he probably could not initially. He initially felt like he could not make a rap song about the Matrix.
Which is deeply
I
ironic
can't come up with a
because-
song, guys. I'm sorry, I gotta turn it
'Cause
down.
He did a song for Man in Black.
Yeah.
He did a song for Wild Wild West.
yeah.
So it was like Matrix. It was like, nah, this is boring. Wild Wild West. This is where it's
I
at.
can't make a rap song about fighting against the machine.
Though, can I be honest though? Yo, the Western sci-fi of Matrix inspired me. Gun kata or gun fu, my favorite thing to ever come from the genre of like that's gun fu is like the coolest thing. Doing fluid like karate, martial arts type of movements with
Equilibrium?
guns. Yes, I love that.
Kata.
You know what? I watched that movie late. I literally watched that 2015. Never have heard of it before.
But
And
in
blew my
fairness,
mind.
It kind of flew under the radar because when it came out, a lot of people didn't know about it.
How it's so good and so beautiful. I love the sensory police. I
Yeah.
love that whole world concept where they inject themselves to keep the motion stable. I love the flowing. Dude, that was perfect. They need to, I don't say redo it, but put it back out again.
It does have its following. That's one thing about it.
Yeah, I'm literally trying to throw myself into that
But
base.
you know what's funny? Speaking of Wild Wild West, well, the final nail for that movie, I mean, it was never good, but the final nail for that movie was when I found out that that whole movie was basically a ripoff of a Batman the Animated Series episode. The one
Hex.
episode with Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex, yes.
I was like, you got to be. When I found that out, I'm like, how do you rip off a less than 30-minute cartoon and fail?
Wait, Wild Wild West ripped off a Batman cartoon episode
Yes.
with Jonah Hex.
With Jonah Hex.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Didn't Jonah X also end up getting this movie
Yeah, and
that
it did
didn't do
horrible.
good? Yeah.
Horrible.
Wow, I
And it
didn't
sucks
know
because
that.
I'm like, I want a good Jonah Hex movie. Jonah Hex actually has a kind of interesting story. But it
Yeah,
goes into that, like I said, that supernatural Western aspect.
that I love, and apparently has a following, but not so much into, I guess.
Apparently, I got into this thing called
I'm-
Top 5 Scariest on YouTube. And it was something like, one episode was like the top scariest, most powerful cosmic beings or beings that could destroy the universe or something. And number one was actually this character from Preacher, who was a cowboy who apparently killed God and Satan, and he basically rules reality. And if he wanted to, he could destroy it. It was weird. I was like, what the heck?
What I need to know if that person did any research or science behind that. The one that did the
Preacher.
list.
Preacher is
Science.
a live action TV series, right?
Based on the
The
comics.
comics, yeah. I know that I've heard of the comics. I didn't know it was a live action. series.
Because there's also a graphic novel called Priest, right? About vampires.
You have Preacher, then you have Priest.
Okay.
I don't
Priest
know
is about the
Priest.
vampires. Preacher,
Yeah, no, you know about
We
saw
have
Priest
Priest?
in the movies.
We did.
Yeah, we went to the movies to see Priest.
Oh man.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
We either went to the movies to see Priest or we watched it on TV. Like there's
Oh, probably TV.
this one part in it. I want to say we went to the movies to see it. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
there
That
was
was a
got
bit
better
of a Western
memory
too, wasn't it?
yeah, it was.
Go for it.
There was this one part in it, and they showed it in the trailer, and like it's hilarious because there's one. I was reading some article, and this one person agreed with me that it was literally like the best part. Like something was happening, like
I remember this.
destruction.
I remember this.
and
We
the
were in
dude
theater.
was acting as if he was a
Conductor.
yes.
Yeah, I know what
And
you're.
it was to the explosions and whatnot, and it was cooler. It looked way cooler than V for Vendetta when they did that.
Two,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. To be honest, I did blur, and don't ask me
But
how
that was
because
a
I can't.
really
Fully.
good scene.
I did kind of blur Priest and Book of Eli together.
No, well, I was gonna say it's understandable you blurring Priest together just simply because we was getting massive vampire films during that time.
Yeah,
But also,
yeah.
Book of Eli is a bit of a Western.
Yeah, it's a bit
yeah,
of a western.
That's a western. Yeah.
That guy who's out of town, who shows in town and immediately just owns everyone, bringing
Just
salvation
killing
to
it.
the town.
You know, I still call BS on that movie.
Oh.
Like I've recently rewatched
And it's
it,
apocalyptic.
and I
It's
was
one of my
like,
favorite
there
kind
is
of genres.
no way he was completely blind.
Oh yeah, I don't think he
maybe-
was blind. That was
Maybe
confusing.
going blind. And I'm sorry if I spoiled the movie for anyone, but fuck y'all.
It was like 10 years ago, literally 2010.
Y'all should have already seen the movie by now.
Yeah, sorry, bros. I mean, go
know,
still watch it.
I will say, let's
Nah,
pin.
I'm joking. Nah, don't fuck y'all, but I'm sorry for the spoiler.
but you regret. But
Next
which is a
time
theme
I'll
in
say
Westerns.
spoiler alert.
But I definitely want to put a pin in Book of Eli for the future because that's a movie I feel like deserves way more discussion because I've noticed people kind of interpret that movie differently in a lot of weird ways.
Book of Eli?
Yeah, So, like I said, I want to put a pin in it because I know we ain't got the time to really get into it here. But I just want to
Yeah.
put a pin in that to come back
Okay.
to it later.
We could definitely do like a topic on our favorite inspiring movies because
Yeah, I have like literally pens like up there in my head. No,
we both
NBC,
looked up
not
there
actually
too.
on the wall,
We looked
but
over.
in my head. Like,
So,
okay,
Anderson?
the wrestling episode.
Are you pinhead?
Oh
anyways,
my.
um,
You have such.
that's something else I want to bring up. But yeah, so I wanted to do this kind of in a round robin kind of way,
Okay.
where I say something that inspires me. You know, we have a discussion about it, and then we go on to midnight, and then to MDC, and if we have enough time, we just go back around again. And actually, if you guys like this can also become like a little,
Like a
we can do
segment?
like a part 2
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Because
Yeah, I feel like it is kind of endless.
oh yeah, I was about to say I
Yeah,
can go
yeah.
I can
on.
tell you,
Definitely.
as I've gotten older, my inspirations have changed.
Yeah, and that's what I want to say
You
too.
know, grown, so,
My list continues to grow.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff.
Because I can tell you one thing I'm not shy about is letting people know what inspired each and every story I come up with.
Yeah.
You know?
Because there's different ones. That's what I was saying at the beginning. There's so many different things that inspired different things from me as well.
Yeah.
I can definitely say it helped narrow it down by looking over in the corner of my room. Magic. Magic the Gathering heavily inspired me to create. In fact, Magic the Gathering was the first thing that I so okay. Magic the Gathering is a card-based game for those who don't know. A trading card game that's been out since 1990 something. Probably no, 1994, 93.
Made by Wizard of the Coast.
Made
Shout
by-
out to Wizards of the Coast.
I want to work for you one day. But I remember my first time seeing it was my freshman year, and I was in the band room because I used to be in marching band. I miss you, Memorial High School. And one of my friends sat me down. Mind you, I've known this guy like in Texas. Pretty much, I moved there when my second grade year, so that was maybe like my fourth grade year.
Anna, sit your ass down. I'm gonna show you the coolest fucking thing you ever motherfucking seen in your childhood life.
Pretty much. I grew up with people from literally second grade to we went to the same middle school because it was right down the street. Went to the same high school because it was right down the street, and with a couple of people coming and going. So when my friend got into Magic, he pretty much sat down. Most of us was like, "Check this out. Look at this. I'm gonna teach you how to play this." And I'm like, "Oh my god, these cards are beautiful, gorgeous." And from then on, I was inspired to draw these vast different types of landscapes. I was heavily influenced by the green cards because to this day they're my favorite. They're beautiful forestry, just overflowing and just like grabbing. I want to say that's where my inspiration from like an apocalyptic kind of theme came from, because a lot of them was, I believe it was Dominaria at that. I think it was Dominaria, or was it Alara? I don't know, but I know how to do with the Sylvians, and buffs who know about the Sylvians would understand. And it was all about like these floating crystals, and like some of them they were all separated, and some of them had like just they were latched on by giant land masses, and a lot of the pictures had like these plants overgrowing like structures that used to be there and they're no longer there, civilizations that didn't stand the test of time. But you know what did? Nature did. And so in my little kid head, I was already from 8th grade working on a story about a gunslinger because I love spaghetti westerns, and I've been working on her story since 6th grade. I just wanted a cool gunslinger. What if she was a gunslinger in a post-apocalyptic world? Like, what if something already happened and then the last remaining? So Magic inspired me to create a world where man had fallen. Was starting to go extinct and the land was reclaiming things. And I did desert, but I didn't want the desertification. I didn't like that. I wanted plants choking the life out of buildings and concrete, reclaiming everything the humans had took. Like, that blew my mind. And Magic cards, these beautiful character designs. And you know what I saw for the first time? Well, yeah, black people. I saw black people on Magic cards. And I remember that.
Wow, I didn't. I must have been getting the wrong packs.
We have one of the cards I used to have called Jabari's Wisdom. I can't remember exactly what the thing is. I'll pull it up later. Maybe we can show it too. I had that card a long time ago, and it's a white card. Well, yeah, it's a white card. And I was heavily into white and green. And, 9th grade me was like, oh, cool, black person. Anyway, so I'm going to tap this card, and I'm going to do this. But older me now is like, holy crap, they've been steadily steadily producing cards with diversity. And so getting back into Magic now, which I think we told the story when we went to the thrift store like what, last year before last,
Oh
year before last.
no, that was like a good 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, getting to Magic about 2 years ago, just going to the thrift store and being like, "Oh, cool, a Magic box." I had to grab it. We had to buy it. It was like the magic like reached out to me and like it was just latched on to me, and I was like, I
It
can't
was like
out without this.
we knew about Magic,
Yeah.
and we said that was one of the things that we wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
That and D&D
Yeah.
and whatnot, but we didn't really know how to get into it.
Right. Where do we
So,
particularly?
I guess someone sold their
It was like
Magic
500 cards.
to the thrift store. Yeah, it was two different packets. Like one was literally like in a
Oh,
Ziploc bag,
Oh yeah.
and one was inside of a box.
Yeah, deck
So,
box, a full deck
I
box.
think it literally cost like what, $2?
Yeah,
each?
it was like it was like
So we was like,
$5.
okay, let's do it. And
Yeah.
we got all these old cards, and the story right there was pretty much history because it wasn't enough for us to actually build a deck. So we eventually the next week we went out, we bought a deck.
We got a starter deck just so we can understand a little bit more like how to make a deck. And it literally downhill from there. It was just, but like a wonderful downhill.
Like uphill.
Uphill, yeah, not like a downhill,
Like
but
downhill.
it's been a wonderful.
Yeah, we have so many cars.
We have
since then.
literally a trunk full sitting next
Yeah.
to me, and I love it. And I mean like
Uh,
an actual trunk, like it's a little
like
little
it's not-
chest.
It's not that big.
But you know what's funny? You speak of like, you remember last episode we brought up Drago, and I said that Drago was basically ripped right off of a Magic card.
Yeah, and so
Oh,
I
it
wanted to
was?
bring it up.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things where you try to psych yourself out and say that it wasn't, but it obviously was.
Yeah, no
Same
fair.
color, same shape. The only difference between Drago and the creature from the cards is that Drago had wings, like you know how bat wings are, it's like their hands, but also their wings.
Yeah.
That's the main difference because this creature didn't have wings. It was a
Oh,
four-legged
cool.
creature.
Oh,
And its
okay.
horns were also different than Dragos. But for the most part, like you look at them, it was the same in the sense of like a lot of those DC Marvel characters that look dead on like each other. But maybe had like
Yeah.
one or two things that were different. It was kind of like that type of different.
Do you still have your Magic cards? Because it was a surprise when we found out that you even had some. Or I found
Yeah,
out.
because and like you said, I got them for the art. Basically, I would just buy the cards, and I don't even remember how I even came across Magic. I don't know why I started buying them, but every now and then, buying Magic cards was like buying like
Little packs of art or whatnot, I guess, or like
yeah.
like the cards were themselves were really cool, especially when you found out what they could do.
Yeah.
The flavor text is still my favorite. I love the stories. When I found out Magic had a story, like when we got into it, I've been reading them ever since. I'm not caught up. The last I stopped was Ixalan, and only because it's about Jace, and Jace's story is interesting, but I'm kind of losing interest. But I gotta come back because my girl, she's in it. And now I feel bad because I don't remember Vraska. Haha, didn't forget her name. Vraska's my favorite, Regal Gorgon. But Magic really set me down a path of wanting to. I sat there for the first time ever and decided this is the career I want. I want to design cards. I would like one day, maybe for my comic. I want my comic. I'm gonna seriously work on my comic and my art, and I seriously want to maybe one day work for Wizard of the Coast. And I didn't know it was called Wizard of the Coast at the time, but if I hadn't been introduced to Magic, I probably would have known how much art plays into almost a lot of things. A lot of aspects. I've seen cartoons, but as a kid, I didn't translate art to cartoons.
And I think we've actually met at least two people that have. I don't know if they've done art specifically for Wizards of the Coast, but I know they've done art that's similar to that.
Yeah, you're talking about Tillman and Soto?
Did Tillman do art for?
I think he did,
Magic?
yes.
He
I
did?
believe he did. I might be wrong. We'll find out. But I think he did. If it
his
wasn't
business
specifically.
cards are like that.
Yeah, and he's got a whole game. Shout out to Brian Tillman. He's got this really cool card game that's on my desk. And if I get up and go get it, I'm going to.
You remember the name?
That's a question. I feel bad.
Okay, while we do that, what about
But he's an amazing artist.
friend we met in Spellbound, that artist. I think he told us he did art for
The one that
Magic,
gave you
right?
those cards.
Oh, you talking about Mark Jacks?
Yeah,
son.
yeah.
Ah, Dark Legacy.
Dark Legacy.
The
okay.
Rising, yes, yo, this is really cool. The detail in the art, like he actually put in the dedication to creating a solid deck, and I haven't played yet, only because I'm waiting for someone to teach me.
Terrible
I'm waiting for one of my friends to teach me.
Yes,
Ah,
Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
are we in a group chat with him? Oh no, he's got a Facebook group.
Yeah,
A layer,
I
a lot-
just posted it for the first time in years.
Yeah, you actually posting it is my first time seeing some activity in there. I'm pretty sure there's been some activity, but I haven't gotten this time.
Actually, the last post was in December, like prior to me, so it's not that far off.
Right, yeah.
But
That was
he-
literally last month.
I don't know. Oh my! Like I said, I'm a terrible friend. I cannot remember if he did art for Magic, but you look at his art, you would not be surprised.
Are those his comics? The ones
Yeah, I
that
want to say he might have told us or something similar to that.
Because he has looking
Extent.
at his profile now, he has like a heavy metal drawing he did for like the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
we have that, right? Is that what we have? I know we have one of his little like comic
We have
zine.
some art that he did for like anthology comics.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an anthology comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, supporting
he's a
local
pretty nice
artists.
artist.
Check out Mark Jackson. No, I'm gonna open it.
Yeah, if he see if he has like a Facebook page or something that we can connect them to, and I could drop the
Yo,
drop the link.
We should totally interview him.
That would be cool if he's down for it.
Because he actually gave me his number. We're supposed to hang out one day, but like I said, I'm a terrible friend.
When was this supposed to
Look now.
be?
And you know what's funny? The last time I actually saw him in person when we hung out, I hung out with him and a couple other friends when they were going to a concert. That day, I had to go to a set, that just happened to be in the area. So literally, the day I hung out with him was the day I was pretty much on the job.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang. Yeah, that's how
Well,
it is, though.
busy.
Yeah.
But definitely, that's yeah, like yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I'm not sure. I wish I kind of knew more accurately which people we know have done cards. But yeah, it's like yeah, it's like this Magic definitely inspired me to want to create a story and develop it. Even make my own card game at one time. I wanted to put all I did it, and I hate it. I'm not going back and looking at it. But I drew all my characters as like trading cards, just because it's a cool idea. I didn't know that card games could be this detailed. Like when you look at cards, they're small, but like the amount of detail and the beautiful complexity of each one. And then I fell in love with Theros. Theros is based on like this kind of Grecian mythology thing, and Theros is coming back. It just came out like last Friday, so it's called Beyond Death.
Okay.
Yo, I love Theros, and they're going back to Theros, and I'm just like, here I go, it's the stumbling back into my addiction. I poured so much money into Magic, chest full. I would take a picture, and make Anderson post it. I mean, it's not all my stuff, but it's Anderson's. But it's definitely like if I could go to a thrift store and just find more old Magic cards, because that's fun. That's fun. When I went to the last convention, Southern Maryland Comic Con, there was this guy who sold like just random MTG cards, and him and his wife actually make like packs like this of randomized cards, and they were like $5 for like a pack of 100 cards, and you can just buy them. I literally bought like $20 worth of a bunch of those packs.
Yeah, I mean, because we're not really one that looks at the value of the card, really. Like, it's more so like we just play very casually. Like,
Yeah.
we don't really
We don't do
follow
like the
whatever
the
meta.
standard or the
or-
regulations.
Yeah, we just like to have fun, and when we created a deck, we try to let that deck like kind of like
Have its own theme.
like what we find cool.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
We're not really that competitive with
We can
our
be.
cards. I just
We
like
can
to.
be, but-
Well, no, I mean like in the sense
Amongst
of like
ourselves.
choosing our cards. 'Cause
Yeah.
we know that the route to go with Magic is choose, like, having a lot of copies of one card and
Yeah.
sticking to one what's the word,
Mechanic.
mechanic and whatnot.
And,
Yeah,
I've watched a couple of
I just have a
the
card and
leagues
I'm just
game.
like, wow, this would be so cool if I can get it out on the table. That's really, all that really matters.
In our playing styles differ amongst each other, so it's like it's cool to see each other's mechanics work out. Like I'm more of a blue black. Oh God, I'm more of a green black. Even though I don't like the black as much because there's just so much sacrificing.
Yeah.
So much sacrificing.
So would you say that the artwork inspires your designs, your character designs?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the idea that this is a fantasy world, and most of the cards. I mean, not every single one of them, because there's more practical modern ones too, but it's just so heavily fantasy, and it just pulled into my love for it, and a lot of it's dark fantasy too. Yo, really dark. Like some of these worlds, and then but this is before I found out there were different worlds. I think my friend told me that, but at the time, I just remember that these cards were gorgeous and these creations were gorgeous and they were just super fantasy, and that just reeled me in and made me want to create fantasy worlds too. Like, There the World was going to be a spaghetti western, and then I added demons because monsters would be cool instead of guns, and I added the post-apocalyptic. It just seemed more fun to put it in a fantasy setting versus in a I don't know, more modern time, I guess. Whatever my thought process for being a kid then, I knew. Like, I just remember the spark of the feeling of just like, oh, I'm gonna collect these and draw them all, and I did. I drew a lot of the cards, and they look like someone who was just beginning to learn how to draw. I won't knock myself. They were beginning stuff, but it definitely fed. It fueled my fire heavily. So
Okay,
yeah, I
that's
love
cool,
magic.
That's cool. What about you, MDC? What's
Man,
one thing that inspires you?
See, he says one thing, but he knows that one thing is an octopus, and it has 8 tentacles.
And we're gonna talk about all 8 of them.
So, well, I'll definitely try to narrow this down, or at least brush through certain things. Like, okay, well, first and foremost, I definitely will back up what Neff was saying earlier about being inspired by different things other than the subject at hand, right? So, how do I say? Like, first and foremost, a lot of my favorite movies from the get-go are kind of blended genres. Heck, my favorite movie in the world, From Hell by the Hughes brothers. When I was looking for the movie, I was looking for it in the horror section, but I eventually found it. The guy at freaking Best Buy told me it was in the drama section, and it's so funny because
You sound so mad when you say that.
because it was like everywhere else, it was in the horror section. It could be Sam Goody, FYE, wherever I went, horror section.
Bruh, go
Best Buy,
ahead.
drama section.
Throw in all of those old. What was the other one called? Suncoast.
So, yeah,
Suncoast, yeah.
Yep. Oh my god,
Dude, there were so many of those.
Oh.
Wow.
But,
And Circuit City.
Yep, Circuit City.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing about it. So, as a big horror fan, believe it or not, I don't have a favorite horror movie. I've been going through this for years. I do not know what my favorite horror movie would be. So someone will be like, well, what about From Hell? And I'm like, the funny thing about it, the more I've thought about it, the less I look at it as a horror story, because the intention isn't to explore horror. It has some strong horror aspects. I mean, it's about Jack the Ripper. There's some strong violence. There's a few little scares and darkness. But overall, it's really not that much of a horror film. Given you can watch it along with horror films. That's the thing about it. But that's just my point. It's kind of a blended genre because it's a bit of a crime thriller. It's a mystery. It's a drama. It's a bit of a horror story. But it's heavily about class and poverty. There's a lot of subjects in that movie. And and then you have one of my other favorite movies is Ghost Dog, which at its core is a samurai movie, but clearly it's also a hood movie. It's also a western. It's
Nev
also
showed me
a
that.
mob movie.
It was actually pretty good, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
Ghost Dog was pretty dope.
And then every time when we bring up the topic of Star Wars, a lot of people think of it as sci-fi, but it's actually fantasy with a sci-fi aesthetic.
Yeah,
But also, as I
seeing
said
that now.
earlier, there's some Western aspects, there's some samurai aspects, and there's a whole lot of mythology aspects too. So a lot of my favorite stories from the get-go are, blended genres to begin with. And And to be honest, a lot of the best horror movies like The Exorcist, for instance, at its core, one reason the way that movie works so well because it's actually more of a genre with but a drama that's scary. Because it's really about a mother losing her daughter to influences, a priest who's dealing with the personal issues of faith in his life, and all these other things, and just so happens like a little girl's possessed by a demon, and that's why that movie was so scary, and a lot of older horror movies, when you really think about it, were more drama based because drama was the primary genre for honestly centuries. And then of course early on comedy became a thing, tragedy and comedy like the Greek plays.
Mm-hmm.
But as film in particular grew, and as well as, and I shouldn't just say film, obviously novels, because, we had Dracula and we had Frankenstein and all, genres started to really grow into their own separate entities, because that's all I was talking about with Westerns. It's like, that's why we use the term Western, because Western's almost like a coat for like various genres, because you have action Western, drama Western, horror Western,
Sci-fi Western.
Yeah. And another one of my biggest inspirations actually is heavy metal, the magazine, because heavy metal magazine is okay. Heavy Metal Magazine in and of itself is like a mix of fantasy and sci-fi, and and I've always loved that crossover of fantasy and sci-fi, because I love them, both those genres probably equally.
Yeah, it's really hard to say.
It's like
so then that makes sense, right? Like, how can you possibly pick your favorite movie in one genre if you like still like there are several different genres that you like,
Yeah. And it just goes to show you, because there's so many movies and stories out there that they may be a part of a genre, but they're inspired by so many other things. Like, one of my favorite things in this era, well, I don't know about this era currently, but let's just say an era like a while ago, is that you begin to see how many things, like you began to see a lot of
you mean like the 21st century, like the turn of it? Or do you mean like the 20th century?
I mean like probably like the last. It's hard to be specific, but I will say, before I started hating this era that I live in, I'll say that.
Relatable.
I began to see a lot of influences, like, okay, the movie Sinister. Honestly, that was the best supernatural horror movie that came out around that era. I honestly think it was better than both Paranormal Activity and Insidious and The Conjuring. And one thing about it, the villain Bughuul, though based off of a pagan deity, his appearance was based off of black metal music. And I love that so much because I'm a big fan of that genre. It's controversial as it is for no reason. I mean, it has a reason.
We know the reason.
Freaking can't have nothing. Anyway, but also you began to see like shows like Kids Next Door. Kids Next Door got me into the band Gwar. Now, if you know anything about the band Gwar, they are not for kids.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, there was this episode where they fought the lunch lady.
Yeah, I remember the lunch lady.
The song that was playing, it was like a musical episode, and the song was that they covered and redid the lyrics to was a song by Gwar called Gore Gore.
Oh,
and that was the most awesome
wow.
thing. And it's funny.
Kind of miss those cartoons for that.
Exactly, because you forget, like, these things are written by adults.
Yeah.
Who do have their own interests. So every time now and then they sneak in some references. Like, there was an episode of Kids Next Door that was based off of Jurassic Park, which was freaking hilarious.
That is hilarious.
And just little things like that.
Entire episode where I believe there wasn't any voice acting. It was just one Pantera song.
Oh yeah, I remember that when they did like the episodes where it was just like no one was really talking. It was just it was acted out, but like music was playing the entire time. Yeah. I didn't know it was a Pantera song though, so that's cool.
And then like one thing I love about older cartoons, like the Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry, is that they are heavily influenced by like older movies. I mean, everything in the like I'm gonna let you finish. But the 20th century was the best century of all time, and because there was so much things in art and entertainment that was happening, and you see the influences spill over all over the place. Like who would have thought that? Why would I forget his name again?
You'll
this
get it. I
week?
believe in
Oh
you.
my God, the freaking German actor. What's his name? Who would have thought that? Damn movie. God darn. Give me a second. Hold on. Who would have ever thought that the German actor Peter Lorre will be getting referenced in Tiny Toons in the 90s? If you don't know who Peter Lorre is, look him up, because I guarantee you've seen his face and heard his voice. Because he talks like this, because he was always a creepy German.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
He had
Wow.
the big eyes. So you know,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know,
I see him right there. I don't even have to look at the full
just look
picture to
at
know who it is.
the influence of Bruce Lee on freaking everything. Like, he's basically in every fighting game. You know, and
Yeah.
just little things like that. So to narrow it down, I'm a 90s kid. So I grew up. My first comic ever was Spawn.
Yeah.
And wow.
I don't know. He didn't say anything, so I thought I should fill in the silence.
That was weird. Don't do it again.
Okay.
My first comic wasn't Spawn.
Noted.
So anyway, and the Image comic art style really did speak to me. Like, I got into Spawn, I got into The Darkness in particular, I got into Witchblade. A lot of my artwork around that time reflects that heavily, like the sharp fingers and.
No, I think Darkness and Witchblade was Top Cow.
Well, that was a spinoff of Image.
Is Top Cow? I thought it.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think it was a spinoff
To
of
the
Image, but
internet.
it could have been. It could have been like one of the small separate companies that made Image.
Hold on a minute.
Well, I don't think it was
hold
an
up.
imprint.
Well, it's funny because. Okay,
Not
partner studio of Image Comics.
Yeah, like
Okay.
McFarlane Studios. It's not Image. It's one of the studios that started by the artist that created Image.
True.
The only
Okay.
thing Image owns is just its trademark.
Okay, that's fair. So yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, Image Comics, Top Cow, heavily influenced me. Anime heavily influenced me.
Oh, yeah.
Dragon Ball Z. This is Toonami era we talking about.
Yeah, I was
So-
like, I'm gonna go to something that's not going to be the obvious anime one, because
And it's funny because my anime influences have definitely dwindled over the years, because as my man Neff over here pointed out when we were in Pennsylvania, wow, that was 2 years ago now. Oh man. Well, yeah, that was 2 years. Well, not exactly 2 years, but
A
it was
little bit
2000.
over a year.
Yeah, a little over a year now.
Yeah.
We went to the Art Museum of Philadelphia, and
Beautiful, beautiful art museum.
oh yeah, that's where Rocky did the Rocky thing.
Yes, so many people were doing that. We also did it.
Yeah, I played the Rocky thing.
Yep, and we ran up the stairs.
We ran. Yeah.
adorable.
Steps.
Yeah.
Ran up the steps.
We took pictures with the statue too. It was great.
Yeah,
But,
that was dope. There was a line.
Yeah.
Y'all have the pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna
Yes.
post it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're on Facebook.
No, I mean we're gonna edit it into the little thingy.
I don't do that no more.
Do
but,
it.
Nope, I'm not. I don't do that.
What?
But the thing about it, at one point, I don't remember how it came up, but I remember Neff pointing out the fact that he's like, he really does see the influence of like classical art on me, and I was like, I really do love class. I don't think you can dislike classical art. I mean, look at it, but of course, I brought up this before. H.R. Giger had a humongous influence on me. I came across his artwork in two different ways, because the Alien movies, particularly Aliens, I think, was one of the earliest movies I remember ever seeing, because I grew up watching horror movies with Mom, and so Alien obviously, by default, it came from him, but also I remember going into oh my God, what was the place called, that music store?
Oh, the music one.
Suncoast.
No,
that's the
it
one.
was like
FYE.
FYE.
No, before.
Yeah, but it was before it.
This was a limited. It wasn't everywhere, but it was one downtown DC, I think.
Oh,
somewhere.
okay,
It was
never
called Tower Records. There we go.
Oh no,
Okay.
that one went over me.
No,
Yeah.
I never been there.
Yeah, Tower Records. So I remember being in Tower Records one time because my mom would go there every now and then. I missed that store. I think I bought one CD. There was the Star Wars Episode 1 soundtrack, but I remember one time I was really young. I came across. I'm guessing it was a H.R. Geiger book, and I remember looking through it and seeing the artwork. And I remember I made the connection because Alien was in it, and I was like, "Oh, this is the guy that made Alien." And I looked at this other art, and I was like, "Whoa!" So yeah.
Did you buy it?
Did you
Or
buy
did you pick it up?
I don't even know how old I was. I ain't had no money, and I knew good and well mom was not about to buy that for me.
So you can watch the movies, but you can't look at the art.
Well, do realize Giger's art shows a lot more than movies ever could.
Oh, okay.
So, it's like past X rating. It's like
Shout out to MTC's mom. We hope you're listening to this.
Yeah.
she's not. But okay.
Well, can you
But
tell her to?
she do listen to us, right?
No.
He says she's not.
My mom doesn't even. I'm not even exactly sure she. She doesn't.
In all fairness,
She-
our parents still listen to our
Okay,
stuff.
but
Either.
she
Like,
probably would listen to you if
you told her?
I mean, I
that you on a
don't know.
podcast.
I highly doubt it.
How many people have you told that you're on a podcast?
I told quite a few people. Actually, that kind of slips out my tongue all the time. actually.
Yay.
Represent.
Your boy.
Represent.
So, but yeah. So,
I haven't told my dad, so I mean, I'm pretty sure he'd be like, "What's a podcast?" So,
Oh, man. Then my mom probably said the same thing. To me, too. It's like, what's a podcast?
I think your dad would be
I
the
feel
only
like-
one that
no,
knows
'cause I feel
what
like-
it is.
Out of all of our parents, that your mom would be more in touch, just because she's a teacher. So
Not necessarily.
not necessarily.
Homie, I'm barely in touch with a lot of stuff.
That's very true.
Well,
Come on.
Well, I mean that's different though. I'm
What
saying
did
like
Jamal
she's-
just get hip to? What did you
she's-
just get hip to that you were like, oh, what was it? Oh, something that you were so adamantly against and now you do it. What was it? It was technology based. What? It took you a minute to get past your Walkman though. Took you a long while to
Oh,
get
when I
past
got
your
my CD.
Walkman. Yeah, I'm sure you still
Oh.
have it.
It's in my drawer. I don't use it.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
But what's funny? I'm also ahead of people because I don't have a Spotify because I found another way to get music.
What's the other way to get music?
Yeah,
Is it
the-
legal?
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, well, can you say it on the? What is it?
I mean, legal in the sense that it's easy to do. I don't know, but
Well, okay, hold on. That doesn't always mean legal.
Yo,
let's just say,
hey,
if you've been on Facebook long enough, you've seen a meme that explains it. So I'm not going to incriminate myself.
Okay, we'll come back to that because I want to know. If you say iTunes, I'm gonna be like,
Oh, hey, no.
I don't even use iTunes.
So, hey, in fairness, I pay my dues. I see music live, okay? So,
He does, and you still buy albums, right?
yeah,
Yeah, so that's cool.
so, yeah, I'll do the right thing.
But
Do the right thing.
I don't buy albums. I use Spotify. I'm sorry.
I use Spotify too,
Yeah.
but I have albums, like a whole album on my Spotify.
Well, it still counts. As long as you support music one way or another, you're good.
Yeah,
But it's like they literally get like pennies and
Ooh.
nickels for every stream. Like,
So I'm the hero here.
yeah, you're actually like,
well, we don't know what you're doing.
yeah, you won't tell us, so we're not sure.
But
But
that's depressing.
it kind of is. But here's the funny thing about Giga, right? So the more I looked at Giga art, the more I began to think about African art. Because you look at a lot of like traditional sub-Saharan African art. It's really they have exaggerated features when they depict humans. A lot of it's like woodwork, and that really spoke to me too. And not necessarily like the kind of sculpture you see in America, because honestly, a lot of that's toned down and But if you look at like actual and like African art from the core, it's really interesting. So I began to kind of like do my whole thing where I kind of blended the two together, and kind of found one of my own personal styles. So in terms of artwork, I could definitely say like Image and Top Cow Comics, or comics in general, honestly, because Sin City had a bit of an effect on me. Giger, African art. I'll say heavy metal, especially like artists like Louis Royo, Boris Vallejo, um, Julie Bales. Is that correct? She married Boris Vallejo, I believe. Clavengers, no, I can't think of his first name right now. A lot of fancy art that came around in the 70s
Okay,
and
so
80s.
basically, I'm trying to understand this because that was like a lot of names.
Yeah.
You're saying like other artists inspire you,
Well,
and not so much of
That are-
artists that necessarily are doing the horror scene.
yeah, actually, offhand, I can't really say there's any. God, I can't really even name like a horror artist. I mean, Giger would probably be the closest. 'Cause,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for a lot of people, his art, I'm sure is disturbing. But, but now,
Oh boy.
but well, in terms of my interest in horror in general, that mostly comes from, obviously movies that I grew up with over the years, and
Right.
of course Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe.
See, and that's an interesting thing about you with this question, which why I was expecting for you to name like 15 different things. It's because of like, okay, so for Midnight, right? Me asking this question, is she totally looked at it as so much for herself as an artist? What inspires her art? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it definitely was what inspires my writing. But for you, with you being, I'm not saying that Midnight doesn't write, or I don't do other things outside of writing, but for you, where you wear a lot of hats currently at where you're at in your career, where you photograph,
Mm-hmm.
you produce films, and you also paint. Aside from modeling as well too. So I understand when I ask you, what inspires you. You're looking at it as like, well, this inspires my photography. This inspires my films. This inspires my paints
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. So that's why I know for you it's not just going to be like just one simple thing from well, not I want to even say simple, just one thing specifically from an art thing. Not saying it's just one for us either.
I feel the
even
need to
though
defend myself.
the whole thing was it was
I'm
supposed
waiting.
to be a round robin thing and whatnot.
Because I have like a couple more things just waiting on the sidelines.
No,
Like this
I
is
said
a dam
that. I know,
about to
me too,
burst.
Me too. I was just saying like
I just saw because we have
he
the
literally named like 15
board game in the
things
corner.
over there.
You did,
Um,
which is fair because it's
yeah, that's
really,
actually supposed to
really.
be over there.
Yeah, I'll put the top on that later. It's a
Um,
Magic the Gathering board game. That's the only reason I was able to narrow it down because I flew my eyes around the room like, oh God, where to start video games, bookshelves, pop
So-
Funkos.
And that's normally not how it is. I like to let my team know beforehand what the topic is going to be. But it was supposed to have been something
10
else.
minutes beforehand.
And we were supposed to interview someone else, but they had to end up canceling. So
This subject is always a difficult one to just
we
go
were
into anyways.
Yeah, we were just looking through or whatnot.
Because it's so vast. You're asking creators what makes you want to create or what inspires you to create. And it's like, create what exactly? Like, what do you mean? What's the thing you do? I do a lot of things. Which one? Write, paint, draw, do digital art, poetry. What is it? Like animation? Because I have several different inspirations
But
for
you know
all
another
different of
thing.
those. Create music?
Inspiration. Yeah. Ooh, I said that weird.
Inspiration. Inspiration.
You see what I was talking like Batman earlier?
No, we weren't doing that. I have no idea what he was doing.
But see, that's what my wife just slips out. Like I got a little bitch in me. Like,
No, you don't. That's not how you sounded at all. He's completely off.
Well,
Neff,
well,
I
listen,
swear to
I caught
fucking.
myself and I ain't like it. All right.
Okay, perfect.
But
More of like you just said the word wrong. It wasn't any tone that you used.
it was all of it.
Oh, gee.
If me saying that word was a whole person I wanted dead. So Well, see, another thing about inspiration, it's such a loose term because honestly, a lot
God,
of things
yes.
inspire you subconsciously.
Yeah, that
That's
too.
another thing because, for instance, like let's say I have something that inspired a painting, but what music am I listening to while I'm painting it? Or maybe I don't listen to music at all. Maybe I just open the window and let the breeze flow.
Oh,
You
that's a
know?
great way of putting it. Yeah, sometimes it's not a well. Sometimes it's not a well. Sometimes it's a window that's left open and the
Yeah.
breeze catches, the curtains.
So it's like, some, so many different things influence me. Because honestly, I'm at a point now where I'm really getting settled to the type of, um, what's the word? I don't want to say the type of stories because stories aren't the only things I do, but the type of atmosphere, I guess, I want to put out there.
Yeah.
So, and with that, I've shed a lot of skin, because as you go,
Yeah,
you
of
do shed
course.
a lot of skin. So, a lot of my more, because there was a time I think we brought up last episode where, we all had to grow out of basically repainting a car that we stole.
Yes, that's a cool way to put it
we
too.
definitely
Yeah.
had to kind of
Like we
repaint
hot
stuff.
rodded the car and now we're
Yeah.
actually like, I gotta let this car.
Exactly. So
Gotta let
now,
it.
I
Gotta
just
put it
got
aside.
rid of the car and just built my own product.
And it's
you know?
inspired from the original car. It's just now it's my car kind
Yeah.
of thing. I like when we do this part.
Exactly. It's kind of like what's that whole riddle? Like if someone builds a boat and they replace like every part of it, is it still the same boat or
Something like that.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
So, and I could definitely say, because one thing about I think I brought up before about writing the story. It's like I remember I've butted heads with some colleagues about original ideas because I hate doing the same stuff over again. I hate it when people. I know that they're talented enough to come up with their own ideas, especially since they told me their original ideas, but then they go and do like a fan fiction or something. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with fan fictions. I have a few that I honestly want to do too. But
Yeah, I
my
got a
thing
couple
is,
too. But
Yeah, same here.
I always feel like people are settling when they do that, and the thing about it, I always say, people think it's so hard to come up with an original idea. But I'm thinking, honestly, you could take a moment out of your own life and just exaggerate the story. That's what comedians do all the time.
yeah, true. Yeah.
I always tell people, take your best experiences from a video game and retell it or rewrite it, but without telling anyone or without indicating in any way that it's a video game that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You could take and you could just make entire stories out of these little instances because that's what stories come from all the time. People take they might take like a personal event out their life or personal moments out their life combined with things that people told them because it's a point of conversation. Combine it with like maybe some movies or some books they read, throwing a little bit of their religion, throwing some mythology, look at some history. Bang, you got a story.
Like that example is a great one because I could give you one specifically based on a video game, and I'm not sure if you'll get it. It's literally about descendants of like this long line that just constantly keeps going, like it just keeps reincarnation. There's these descendants of reincarnations of people who wield this power that is discovered later on, and they grow up as a pirate. One grows up as a pirate, one grows up as a street urchin, and one of them grows up. Well, actually, two of them grow up as a pirate. One of them got found by a street urchin, and the other one is this traveling adventurer. And you kind of find out that this world has been tormented on and off again throughout history by this great evil that just doesn't, like, they're defeating it, but they're not sealing it away. There's no way you can really seal it because with every good, there's always bad. So when good emerges, bad is there, or bad emerges because good is there.
Yeah.
It's a yin yang kind of thing, and these characters have to realize that they are destined to do this over and over again, and then they question, do I really want this? This is the role that I really want.
So you like to play Castlevania?
You might think it's Castlevania, so that's cool, yeah. No, it's Zelda.
Son of a bitch.
It's Legend of Zelda. I made my own fan story of Legend of Zelda that follows the idea of from Wind Waker, because Princess Zelda was up. Sorry for spoilers. It's literally like more than 10 years old. Princess Zelda didn't know that she was a pirate, so she lived her life as a pirate and then discovered later I am the reincarnation of Zelda. She went from being brown to white, and I thought that was the weirdest thing ever. But
Oh, sorry, I just had to.
we'll touch
point
upon that
out-
later.
I just had to point out like that whole moment Neff had just reminded me of like this this video was funny as heck years ago on social media. It was like, guess that Pokemon. It's Pikachu.
Oh yeah,
And it comes out, God damn it!
I remember that.
I
Yeah.
thought it was weird when she said pirate, but like everything else kind of sounded like it was going to fit.
And it could fit too because the story of Castlevania follows the Belmonts and the reincarnation of Dracula. Constantly, there's evil that won't go away, and he's like immortal. Like it's as long as it exists, as long as good exists. You know, there's a lot of stories that can fit that mode. I got that entire inspiration from Zelda, just taking the core of because Zelda, every story is about pretty much kind of different, but it follows the hero of time and the Triforce and the princess and Ganon, and then you could just pretty much, as long as you keep within the world, you can pretty much toss and turn, mix it, just keep the theme going. Take out those names I said, and you have a story that could be your own. You could literally run with the concept of reincarnation, of heroes and villains, of good and bad, of this. You could take a video game story.
Yeah.
It could be a fan fiction because you can stick to the original names, or you can start adding pieces of you. That's literally feeding your well of creativity. Just play the game.
And let me tell
That's a
you,
huge one for me.
to this day, this is always gonna hurt. But I actually made a my own wrestling federation on the wrestling games. You know,
Oh
the-
yeah, dude, that was crazy.
So at some point, you know, technology decided to turn on the Death Star and just destroy my world.
Did your memory get corrupted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's the worst
Happens
because
to the best of us.
you had to have like over 100.
I had almost
creations.
100 characters.
I
and
knew
the
it.
worst thing about it, it's like, if it weren't for the fact that, because you
Sorry.
know me, I'm uber liberal. My women fight, man. That's how I roll. But you know, since WWE is racist and sexist, the game isn't fits like that. So I had downloaded this hack where, you know, the game would read women as men so they can have that crossover. I can't do that now because that particular game isn't online anymore. So I
Dang.
wouldn't be able to re-download that because I would have
Dang.
otherwise had just
Start over?
yes.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of fun. Character creation in games like that, major inspiration. Soul Calibur,
And let me tell you,
wrestling games,
um,
Sims.
I had all those characters thought
Sorry.
out. I had a whole universe made for that, to be honest. To the point that I was really trying to build up to the point where I could make it official and start making videos on YouTube for it,
Nice.
including voice acting and all that. Like
Oh,
and the thing
man.
about it, what made me kind of push for that is how much like my friends actually enjoyed those characters and the matches. Because one thing about it, I used to have this thing called Backyard Movie Night, where we had to project in the backyard and, you know, watch movies. But before I started the movie, I would usually have like either music videos playing or wrestling playing, you know, because you can make the computer fight itself. And people were really getting to those matches. And to this day, I told myself, like, well, these characters aren't going to die. They're going to exist in some sense. 'Cause, you know, like, I really did.
I'm never going to forget you.
And, you know, honestly, doing that was just kind of an exercise because I kind of wrote stories on the fly. It's like, okay, so I would kind of let the match in the games play out like they did. So whoever won or lost or whatever, I would just kind of go with it and say, okay.
Yo, that makes sense.
this
They
happened.
would beat that person because then you just come up with the whole story for it. Why? We
Yeah.
used to come over and you would just start up. You were either
Yeah.
already in the middle of like wrestling matches between characters or you were starting it up. We'd just be talking about whatever. And on the TV in the background, you would have, you know, wrestling
And to
on.
be honest, that's the one thing that kind of always attracted me to wrestling is the fact that it is kind of blended with reality. So if a wrestler got injured or the match didn't go right, they just had to go with it and just, you know, go with it. Or I've lost how to speak English right now, but it works differently than say like a movie series or a TV series or a comic series, because all that's like pre-planned out for the most part. But in wrestling, it kind of happens as it happens, and you just kind of say, well, these people were kind of good together. Let's make them a team. Or these people fought well together. Let's keep this rivalry going. Or oh crap, he broke his leg. Okay, let's just write that in the story. You know.
That's a fun way to pick and create stories for, you know, just to draw inspiration from and just come up with like this whole. You'll find yourself whittling the hours away just like based on the designs of some simulated video game with your characters in the world. Because Never and I have done that. In Soul Calibur.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was the Soul Calibur 4 was the first time we did it? Was it 5?
Did what?
started putting our characters, like we would just create a character, just go in there and make all our characters.
I mean, I first started doing that as soon as they introduced character creation.
In
So
3. Maybe
I was
3.
doing that before we started dating.
And see, I didn't know that. I wasn't doing that. Don't you make that face. I wasn't doing that. I was creating characters that was specifically for Soul Calibur because I couldn't see my characters in Soul Calibur era. It wasn't until I met Neff and our friends who were like, look at our characters. I'm just like, you can make your own characters in this world. I could put Midnight here, and then I proceeded to do. It blew my mind that I could do that. I wasn't doing that before. I was drawing my characters. Like, I never knew that I could use this as a source of inspiration. Oh, and believe me, some of those outfits from those games have transitioned into the story. Because I'm just like, wow,
Yeah,
this is cool. I
definitely,
need
for sure.
this.
There was sometimes I would have like a character design, and for the life of me, I just couldn't figure out how this character was going to look, and Soul Calibur definitely helped me out with that. Helped me get to be able to see like the bigger picture and whatnot. Cause I don't know. I just couldn't come up with in my head like, man, what do I want this character to wear?
Yeah.
But you know, that's another thing going back to inspiration. You know, that's one reason why it's good to do a lot with your time in terms of like, you know, hang out with a friend. They might tell you a story that inspires you. Go see a movie. Go listen to some music you've never heard before.
Or shit, just go outside and people watch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love doing that one.
Like my
I'm a creep.
You know, my career is comic book writing, but I work full time as a security officer, and sometimes, you know, I'm standing outside just to be seen by the people in the building, and you know, in the morning time, you know, you see people just, you know, rushing off, going to work, and that's always was like a weird concept to me.
Mm-hmm.
How, you know, we have like all these people in such a, you know, small area on this block just walking, and like, you know, in their own world.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're in this world together, or, you know, on Earth, but we all have like our own individual worlds with battling our own, you know, wars and stuff on, you know, that is unbeknownst to the person that's right there on the side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and there's people like, you know, we all come in like all different shapes and sizes. And, you know, and there's people that have very interesting styles, you know, sometimes that, you know, walk past, and I'm like, yo, like, you would make a cool ass character.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever.
I love doing that, especially going to a park. Or going downtown, going to a place that's highly populated where there's a bunch of different people wearing different things, different complete walks of life. And you see this group of people that just look so cool. I'm just sitting there like, oh, you guys are, that's your turf. And like secretly underground, you guys have like this tournament. But instead of like a fighting tournament, it's this type of like mech battle tournament because I like mechs, and you know, so it's like, but like,
making my way downtown, walking fast,
Oh
throwing
my
hit
goodness.
you with the gap.
no, like no, I refuse.
I saw you
Goodness.
said it.
Because they look like
Shit.
they could. I did. They look like they could be mecha battlers, and it's like, oh, that group would be really cool because they don't use mechs. They're like more like the business suit attire, but that guy's wearing a cool tie, so like
And the thing about
he like
it,
attacks with ties or what, you know, just sitting there coming. Yeah, just I said it off the top of my head, but you know,
but no,
random
I mean,
BS.
the thing about it, that's one thing.
create
humans
character
just-
that attacks with tie.
What? That's one thing about us humans. Like, I always said the most powerful thing we have is the imagination, or else we wouldn't have freaking built pyramids and murdered millions of people.
And I think of
But-
that adaptation too.
Yeah, that were really dark.
Yeah,
really
there was
Really?
like,
Like the
really hopeful and bright.
Pyramid and kill a bunch of people. Like, I probably would have went like the whole
Well, no,
route.
I don't mean that the pyramids. I don't.
No, I
like
see.
said,
One
I
was
went
bright
way
and then
back.
one
I
was
just meant in general
Okay.
as humans. Like,
Not saying that the pyramid, like,
the pyramids. They kill a bunch of people. Yes.
Well, no,
I'm saying I
well,
probably would have went with the Tower of Babel
Babylon. Oh, Babel. Yeah.
has an example.
Sad.
Because I want to say that took like the biggest imagination.
Yeah.
Like those
We're
people,
going to
like,
reach
literally
God, or
said,
so
yeah,
help
we're
me.
going to construct
me.
a tower to reach God and to have a conversation with him. Like, yo, that took some big imagination.
and a lot of wasted manpower. But but you know, I mean, but really, I mean, and I remember, because I remember I saw this article I never read, but
Big
it was
kahunas. Sorry.
and
Go ahead.
teeny brains. But it was talking about how apparently,
Wait,
like,
hold on.
I don't know.
I was gonna say, did you watch Master of the Skies?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Really, you haven't?
Because that sounded like he was quoting that part. Cause there
Yeah, I
was a
thought he
part
actually
where
said the.
this waiter came
Uh-huh.
and he had like some swallowed nuts and the little tiny sausages on it,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, mind you, this is a children's
Some
film.
of his favorite.
He was
You
like,
sure?
This is a children's
This is-
movie.
Yes, Master of the Skies was a children's
Pretty sure it
film.
was PG-13.
No, dude, this film was probably like rated for everyone.
Wow.
It was
Okay.
not-
okay.
It was not
Third-
G-rated.
third.
No, I'll check.
Okay, here I go
check it.
checking.
We all
But
been
there
checking.
was one part when he was like, "You look like a man that has little nuts and a tiny wiener," or something like that.
That was not a kid's film.
I'm
Anderson.
telling you, check it. What was it? Master of the Skies. What was the rating?
It's PG.
Wow.
That's not a kid's
Elfin,
film.
thank you. That is PG. Is a
PG's
kid's film.
kids.
No,
Yeah.
it's parental guidance. G is kids. Or general.
Wait, really?
Dude,
There's a G rating?
PG, and PGY7 is still
That-
for kids.
Why you keep messing up all these ratings?
I don't know ratings.
PG,
So
okay, PG7, right?
You mean TVY7, PG-13.
I know
is 55.
TVY7, young.
Okay,
whatever, I
but
don't know.
PG is still for kids, right? It's not?
I mean, it can't. I mean, obviously.
It
they
definitely
can
was.
Watch it, but it's like, it's
Don't.
a step above G-rated. Like, if you think about, like, Star Wars, that's PG, most of them anyway. Except Episode 3 was PG-13.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So PG films can be viewed by all ages,
We really
but
going into
some
this?
scenes may be unsuitable for young children.
See?
Children of any age may watch a PG rated film or DVD with or without an adult. See?
Nay. Keyword.
You know, we have a
comes
couple
at
of
April.
minutes left,
A
so while they go
PG
on this,
tells parents that the content of
I'm
the
definitely
film
gonna say
may upset
another
younger
huge
or more
inspiration.
sensitive bitch children.
what?
Hey, that's what the official rating thing said, not me.
He threw his phone.
Across the room to destroy evidence, but you know what? I got faster legs than him.
We've talked about this before about writing being a huge inspiration for us, and we can find writing in a lot of things. Writing is the central core to, I feel like, to creating. Without animations, storyboards. Before a storyboard, there's writing. Before a comic, before the sequential art, there's writing. Before a video game being developed and characters
But
being
before writing,
created.
there's
Yes.
conceptualizing.
Yeah.
Concept.
So it's like, in order to feel that well,
Is that when
to
you're
get to the
sexually
writing
attracted to
part.
concepts?
Like, you can create
No, that's when you're
characters
sexually
all you
attracted to
want.
negative things.
Okay. You can create characters all you want, but you're going to want to eventually write out those characters, right? You're going to write their likes, dislikes, what they might look like. You're going to give yourself a basis of an idea. And then if you really like those characters and something that's really inspired you, you're going to want to write it down and create a world for them. And you can't create a world without writing. And so writing is, to me, fundamentals. Us as humans, whether we're writing, I guess I can say orally as well, because that's the thing we've been
Oral
doing
tradition.
since. Yeah, like we as humans, the things that we need to do, like you said, is create. We have to do it. Just like music, it's inherent in us, and creating is inherent in us. And no matter what origin story you want to give humans, fundamentally, that's in our bones. That's in our DNA, creating. So you have to understand that well of creativity needs a jump every now and
it's
then.
like this.
Like the
At
proverbial
end
car
of
we
the
came
day,
up with.
What is life, right?
Oh, damn, that's a little heavy.
Well, hear me out. Think about it like this. Let's just say, think for a minute that the afterlife is nothing but memories, right? So what are memories? Experiences.
Yeah.
And why do we create things? Why do we tell stories? Why do we have an imagination? To create experiences. That's literally everything. You go to the movies for an experience. You go to a concert for an experience. You read a book or whatever the experience. You get in the kinky nightclubs for an experience.
Experience points. That's exactly true.
That's why you hang out with your friends. You spend time with family. You watch your kids grow. You take them to a game. You your box, your jet ski, your
Sing a song. You dance on the dance floor. You do
Yeah,
all these
'cause
things.
listen,
You
don't-
travel
no one
for
really
experience,
wants to sit
for
there
a story.
And memorize mundaneness. Like who wants to sit there and memorize like 3 days of work that were exactly alike? No, that's why we do things.
Yeah,
That's why we create.
we create experiences.
Video
we create
games.
story. Our life can be a
Board
story.
games.
You know what? And that's a great point because you were saying that earlier. Our lives are stories. If you don't know where to fill that well, look at yourself. And if you feel like I don't have anything to pull from, go do something and then pull from that. I promise you'll find an experience walking outside somewhere, people viewing, and you'll see somebody else experiencing stuff.
So, sadly, we weren't able to continue the circle around
Oops.
for the round robin.
Circle jerk?
Like it was
Bad human. Bad human.
It's
Don't
kind
mean to join
of
them.
weird. As we started to get to another topic for another episode, which is feeding the well.
Wait, we weren't feeding. What was it? Oh no,
this
that's
was
right.
supposed to be what inspired.
Oh yeah, I totally took that over
By
as
the
feeding the
way,
well. I'm sorry.
Master of Disguise has 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. Holy crap!
I am not
Hey,
surprised.
I never said it was a. Well, no, it was a good movie for me. Like, I'm sorry, but a lot of children movies.
How
get
many
bad
kids went
ratings.
into the
She
lake?
also has 3.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
We were talking about that
Hey, who
prior.
cares about IMDb? Was it
Roger
IMDb?
Ebert gave it a 1 out of 4.
What's
Wait.
it? Okay, I don't care about critics to begin with, but didn't IMDb give Dave Chappelle's thing a 0?
It
No, that was
did?
Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
okay,
critics.
Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, we were just having a conversation beforehand just to give a little light on it about the whole idea that a lot of movies that went straight to DVD, it's not because they're bad or they got overlooked. There's some great movies that overall
one
people
thing,
don't
actually,
like.
I feel like that's a topic in itself.
I want to have that topic.
Yeah.
Wait, about what?
About-
like, actually say, when is okay about criticism in general? When is something
apologize.
legitimately, I guess, good or bad or whatever? You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah, who
what-
gets to
like,
judge it
how-
for real?
Yeah, how do we decide what is good art and entertainment? I feel like that's a conversation.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good one.
I feel like that's a little bit more easier than comedy. It's like, okay, yeah, you can say that Master of Disguise was not a good film, like, you know, cinema wise, but to say it wasn't funny, I feel like that's totally just, you know, your opinion.
It would be definitely an open opinion discussion because there's some things
Like I
that.
said,
Oh, boy.
conversation for another episode.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
oops, yeah,
yeah,
here we
sure,
go.
yeah. Totally-
Thanks MDC
yeah,
for
we're-
keeping us on track. 'Cause I was about to
We're
go
really
in,
reaching the end of the episode.
but
uh,
if y'all want a part 2, let us know. Let us know in the
let us know a couple
comments.
things that
Like,
inspire y'all.
yeah,
and
we
whatnot.
definitely want to know that.
Like I said,
I want to talk about some of them
pull
too.
from like freaking something, you know, like totally random, like your love for freaking Jordans is
That-
what inspires.
No, I've seen a lot of artists who like really love to draw. Just like that, they what was the term? It's not shoe file, is it?
Sneakerheads.
Sneakerheads. I don't know. Shoe file comes
file.
out.
Is-
Yeah, sneakerheads. That's what they
Sneaker
draw,
file.
and the inspiration is
yeah, I
from
don't
the
see
sneaker
shoes.
people
Philia.
willingly getting behind that.
What?
You know-
Oh, shoe files.
Yeah,
I'm
shoe
sorry.
file.
Rule 33? Is it Rule 33?
It's Rule 34.
34?
If it exists,
Well, there's a lot of rules, but
I think it's if it. I think 34 is if it exists.
there's porn of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm dead
Oh.
certain there's
Internet.
sneaker
You know, we're the ones that created that rule. Our generation.
because it's true.
Yeah, yeah. We were like, oh boy, guys, we got the internet. Start coming up with all these rules for the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
are the masters of the net.
God,
And subjugated to it.
Master
coffee cup looks so disgusting.
What?
What?
Like all I just see is like all the little leftover grainy parts.
Oh yeah, no,
On
there's
her
a bunch
cup,
of grain.
like,
Yeah, I was just like,
I hate that.
I got the last of the
that so
coffee. I
much.
gave MDC the first batch, so I had to get the second
okay.
jog.
You beautiful bastard.
But hey, like we said, let us know in the comments.
Yes, let us know in the comment what inspires you. Yeah, where I was going with the whole sneaker thing. Like, you know, you like the feel, the look of it, and that inspires you to
There's
freaking
crafters.
do robots or
Yeah.
modern 21st century houses. I
That
don't
is
know.
true.
Yeah,
And
it-
designers.
It usually be like the most random things. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be exactly like. And that was one of the things I did want to say was, you creating your own anime. You don't even need to have other anime to inspire you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
In fact, I just want to point out this one thing. Realize that literally everything was inspired by something else before it existed.
Mhm.
That's
That's
totally
one,
true.
one issue. Again, I ain't gonna get too much into it, but I tend to hate people that really talk crap about other music genres. But I'm like, there was music before your genre existed, right? Like, you had to have come from another genre. Every musician before they created a new genre or new music, they had listened to music prior to their time.
You know, and with that, I would like to grab the round robin, like for a part two, because there's a certain type of music that pretty much inspired a whole story universe, literally based on just the song itself, or the different songs on the album. So it's like music can be an inspiration. You can literally take
Definitely.
the lyrics and just run with it. There's too many things that I could name.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, we're definitely
we'll come back.
going to do a part 2 to this. So yeah, this is AWWH podcast crew signing out.
Yeah, boy. Thanks
It's
for
your
listening.
boy, Neff.
Midnight.
MDC returns.
We out.
Yeah, boy.
Peace.